Multi-million-dollar machines, outlawed race cars, one-off concepts, and factory freaks so scarce, most people have never even heard of them. Welcome to TopTier Torque. Today, we're diving into 10 of the rarest and most sought-after works of art within the Corvette world. Buckle up, because these aren't just cars. These are legends on four wheels. Number 10, 1963 Corvette Grand Sport. In the early 1960s, Corvette chief engineer Zora Arkus Duntov secretly launched the Grand Sport racing program to beat Ford and Ferrari at Sebring and Le Mans. Dubbed the lightweight program, Duntov planned 125 cars, but GM pulled the plug as soon as it discovered the factory-backed racing effort. In total, 5 Grand Sports were built, 3 coupes and 2 convertibles, making them the ultimate rare Corvette. These cars featured exotic upgrades: an all-aluminum 377 cubic inch small block V8 with Weber side draft intake rated approximately 550 horsepower, thinner fiberglass panels, an aluminum birdcage frame, and record low weight, over 800 pounds lighter than stock. These Grand Sports quietly won races for Penske, Foyt, and others, but were never sold to the public in period. After GM halted the program, Duntov smuggled out 2 cars for customers like Carroll Shelby. All 5 cars survive today in museums and collections, making them priceless collector cars. Specs and highlights: 427 cubic inch optional, 550 horsepower all-aluminum V8, 4-speed, large Holley carbs, aluminum radiator, specialty brakes. Top speed approximately 180 miles per hour. Grand Sport number 002, a restored original, sold for over $4.2 million in 2002. Their rarity, racing pedigree, and Duntov legend make the Grand Sport the crown jewel of Corvette rarity. 9. 1969 Corvette ZL1. The 1969 ZL1 Corvette was a one-year special with the ultimate big block, an all-aluminum 427 cubic inch V8 RPO ZL1 developed for Can-Am racing. In 1969, only 2 ZL1 cars were ever built. The aluminum block engine dropped over 100 pounds off the nose compared to the cast-iron L88 and made well over 500 horsepower. GM advertised 430 horsepower, but insiders say approximately 500. This engine cost a staggering $4,718, more than double the car's base price, so only 2 buyers bitten the bullet. The press barely knew of the ZL1 in 1969. It was dealer-only, scarcely advertised, and never test-driven in magazines. However, enthusiasts now call it the Holy Grail Corvette. Its combination of brawny power and plastic body made it the era's ultimate muscle Vetta. Collector reaction has been frenzied. One sister ZL1 was last auctioned near $3 million. Specs and highlights: 427 cubic inch aluminum block big block, 4 Weber carbs, dry sump oiling, heavy-duty suspension, Trans Am racing intent, lightweight, 4-speed manual, 0 to 60 in approximately 4.7 seconds, astonishing at the time. Today, with just 2 cars built and one well-known documented survivor, the 1969 ZL1 is insanely rare and coveted by collectors. 8. 1971 Corvette ZR2. In 1971, Chevy finally offered the ZR2, a no-compromise big block special named for chief engineer Zora Arkus Duntov's racing heritage. It was a continuation of the L88 recipe using a new 454 cubic inch LS6 engine rated at 425 horsepower, paired with the Rock Crusher Muncie M22 transmission. Nearly everything non-essential was deleted: no AC, radio, or power steering, and it got race suspension, heavy-duty brakes, and a special aluminum radiator. Only 12 ZR2 Corvettes were built, including just 2 convertibles. A factory strike delayed production, and the planned 1970 LS7 never materialized, forcing use of the LS6 instead. In 1971, the car cost $7,672, which few buyers were willing to pay for a gas guzzler with no amenities. Enthusiasts today celebrate it as a muscle car unicorn, the last factory small-block Corvette race special. Example number 12, a convertible, sold for $785,000 in 2022. Specs and highlights: 454 cubic inch V8, 425 horsepower, 475 pound-feet, 11.25 to 1 compression, rated 9.0 to 1 for emissions, 4-speed manual, 0 to 60 5.5 seconds, nearly unheard of then, quarter 13.8 seconds, race-derived heavy brakes and F41 suspension. With only 12 built, the ZR2 is one of the rarest big-block Corvettes in existence. Number 7. 1971 Corvette ZR1. The 1971 ZR1 was the LT1/close ratio package version of the Zora Special for that year. It featured the small block 350 cubic inch LT1 with solid lifters, 178 cam, 780 cubic feet per minute Holley, and 9.0 to 1 compression. The ZR1 shared many race parts with the ZR2 M22 transmission, heavy brakes, transistor ignition, aluminum radiator, heavy-duty suspension, but used the lighter 350 engine instead of the 454. It was intended for SCCA racing to fit into specific class rules. Even rarer than the ZR2, only 8 ZR1 Corvettes were ever sold in 1971. The package was so specialized that buyers had to delete options like power steering and AC by default. Contemporary press coverage was minimal. GM had no advertisements for it, but later enthusiasts hailed it as a flat-out performance car. These ZR1s were the ultimate street-legal track car of the year. Specs and highlights: 350 cubic inch LT1 V8, 330 horsepower advertised, actual approximately 350 plus horsepower. M22 close ratio 4-speed, F41 suspension, heavy brakes, 0 to 60 in approximately 5.5 seconds. Weighed only approximately 2,975 pounds, lighter than the big block. As just 8 cars exist, any ZR1 is exceptionally valuable. One sold near $500,000 at auction. 6. 1967 Corvette L88. The 1967 L88 was Chevrolet's craziest production engine, a pure racing 427 cubic inch big block with 12.5 to 1 compression requiring racing fuel. It came with aluminum heads, solid lifters, and triple 2-barrel carbs. Rated at 430 horsepower on paper, but producing approximately 560 horsepower in reality, it was so extreme, Chevy mandated heavy-duty suspension, brakes, and no heater. All L88 cars deleted comforts, carpet, radio, and even forced positraction and transistor ignition as required options. Only 20 L88 Corvettes were sold in 1967. Buyers knew this was essentially a race car for the street. In period, the response was one of awe. Car and driver tested one and gushed over its brute force, 0 to 60 in approximately 4.9 seconds. Today, a 1967 L88 is legendary and one of the most valuable Corvettes, often fetching multi-million-dollar bids at auction. Specs and highlights: 427 cubic inch V8, 12.5 to 1 compression, 103 octane fuel only. Holley tri-power carb, 4-speed, 0 to 60 approximately 4.8 seconds, top speed approximately 180 miles per hour. The rarity, 20 built, and track-derived potency make any L88 a prize trophy. Number 5. 1967 Corvette L89. The 1967 L89 was an even rarer variant of Chevy's big block option. It used the standard 427/L71 V8, 435 horsepower, but swapped in aluminum cylinder heads for lightness. That few extra pounds saved made it the rarest factory Corvette option of 67. In fact, only 16 L89 Corvettes were produced in 1967, even fewer than the L88 that year. The L89 was a $316 option and had no performance gain on paper, so almost nobody ordered it. Thus, a 1967 L89 Corvette is exceptionally rare. Press at the time didn't highlight the L89 specifically. It was mostly a footnote under special equipment listings. Today, collectors prize 89 cars for their oddball rarity. The recent sale of a rare street-legal L89 coupe hit $1.7 million. Between the 16 total examples and the L88 Hurricane Vette hype, the L89 is a holy grail for vintage Corvette hunters. Number 4. 1970 Baldwin Motion Phase 3 GT. The Baldwin Motion Phase 3 Vettes were custom-tuned monsters, not factory models, but built by legendary tuner Joel Rosen at Motion Performance, New York. Between 1968 to 1972, they created about 10 Phase 3 GT Corvettes. Each car was unique, no two alike, and each packed a 427 cubic inch Hemi big block with twin Turbonique superchargers, pushing 600-plus horsepower. These rock-and-roll rockets were essentially street-legal drag cars. At the time, the public and press loved their outrageous performance. They earned nicknames like Torque Monster and were fixtures on drag strips and magazine covers. Baldwin Motion claimed 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds and quarter miles in 13.1 seconds. Mind-blowing for 1970. Today, only approximately 3 of these 10 are believed to survive. Surviving Phase 3s change hands infrequently, but always command high prices due to their mad engineering, custom fitments, and rare provenance.
Number 3. 1963 Corvette Rondine.
When GM wanted a show car in 1963, they turned to Pininfarina in Italy. The result was the Corvette Rondine, a one-off coach-built coupe styled like a Ferrari-bodied Vetta. Built on a standard 1963 chassis, it had a steel body with sweeping Italian curves. The Rondine appeared at the Paris Auto Show in 1963 and then lived in GM's Heritage Collection and later the Smithsonian. The Rondine's public reaction was one of fascination. It looked almost nothing like an American car. Everyone saw Ferrari elegance on a Corvette running gear. In 2008, the lone Rondine was sold at Barrett-Jackson for only approximately $1.6 million, a steal by today's standards. It's arguably the rarest Corvette of all since only one was ever made. Its blend of Italian coachwork and Chevy heart make it a unique legend. Number 2. 1986 Corvette Copper Metallic. In 1986, Chevrolet quietly offered a new copper metallic paint option on the C4 Corvette. Almost nobody noticed, so only 4 copper 86 Corvettes were ever sold. In 1987, a more modest 87 were painted copper. No mechanical changes were made, it was purely a color rarity. Because of this, a factory 86 copper Corvette is virtually non-existent in the used market. At the time, dealers and press barely mentioned it. Corvette color options in the 80s got little fanfare. Enthusiast blogs today call it the unicorn paint of Corvettes. Original owners barely realized their car's future value. Now, finding an untouched 1986 Corvette that color can command a premium over similar cars in common colors. Its collectability rests entirely on scarcity. The color option was too late in the C4's cycle to matter then, but today marks it as a quirky gem. Number 1. 1983 Corvette, the pilot car. The only 1983 Corvette holds the title of the absolute rarest Corvette of all. General Motors built it as the pilot car to validate the new Bowling Green assembly plant in 1981. Unlike others, it's not a production option, but a one-off pre-production prototype. After testing, instead of destroying it, GM repurposed it as a lobby greeter at the plant. In 1994, it was donated to the Corvette Museum in Kentucky, where it lives as a priceless exhibit. When seen by the public, enthusiasts were astonished. Here was a Corvette that looked like the new C4, but came with absolutely zero availability. It's powered by the 350 cubic inch V8 of the 83, but that hardly matters. Its rarity and story are what count. Visually, it's indistinguishable from the few dozen early C4s made, but there's no other 1983 Corvette. The museum's tagline even proclaims it the rarest Corvette ever built. And there you have it, 10 of the rarest, wildest, and most jaw-dropping Corvettes ever to roll off the line, or, in some cases, never made it that far. Which one was your favorite? The outlawed Grand Sport, the $1 million L88, or that lone survivor from 1983? Let us know down in the comments, and if you're a true gearhead, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss what we're firing up next. Thanks for watching.